So I love to be able to tell you guys that the reason we're doing this 1 week later is because I have self-control and planning and all of these things, and I let the situation and the information disseminate through the community, through my brain, blah blah blah. In truth, I just couldn't be bothered doing it before, and I can't even be bothered doing this now. But we have thoughts, and those thoughts should be shared. Let's just do this thing. Let's talk about the Xbox Showcase. 10 out of 10, by the way, straight away. I've already given my thoughts on it on Twitter. It's still a 10 out of 10. There are certain things that they could have done better. We'll talk about it, but we'll also go on a game by game basis, okay? Let's just have a good time. That's all we're here for. There will be no major criticisms. We're just going to give Xbox their flowers, okay? Let's just do it. So, yeah, let's begin. So here we have we begin with Call of Duty's Black Ops 6. I don't care about Call of Duty. I'm not gonna care about it now. But I do think it's a great thing that they have it into Game Pass day and date, if only because they are going to be able to keep the promise that they made to their customers. So that's all I care about. I think it's a terrible idea financially, but again, they are keeping the promise that they made to the customer, and that is respectable. Another thing is that they they are going to give this into Game Pass. What do I want to say? Another thing is that they opened the showcase. That's right, with this, and that's a very powerful message. So I think it's a great way to open the showcase. The cinematic looks really exciting. If I still care about Call of Duty, I mean, look at the price. The barrier to entry is lowered. The lowest level is being ever, right? So fantastic. I mean, I guess Warzone is a lower level of entry, but Warzone doesn't include the single player content, which would be my only thing that might even pull me in. But like I said, I don't care about that. Okay, then we go to Doom: The Dark Ages, and this was a phenomenal reveal. I mean, it even included elements of gameplay, and the gameplay looks super exciting. Let me just skip past the boring part over here, and let's start with some of the. I mean, look at this game. It looks absolutely phenomenal, and I mean, this gun crushing skulls, boy. It's awesome. Everything from the shield to feeling like Captain America vibes, and oh man, this game looks amazing. So I did not like Doom 2016. Didn't like it at all. I played it, I understood the gameplay mechanic, but I didn't care for the story. It basically had none. People say that you don't play Doom for the story, and I'm like, why? Like, people always make it seem like great gameplay and great story is like diametrically opposed, and they are not. They go well together. They go super well together. There's no reason that a game as mechanically dense as this one cannot also have like a really compelling narrative. Like, I'm sorry, I need a compelling narrative to do anything. Otherwise, it's like, why am I there? What do I care for? So while I don't think it's gonna provide that, it would be nice if it did. But either way, it looks phenomenal. Completely 10 out of 10, and I'm really glad that they actually gave you some gameplay. Then we go to State of Decay 3. I never cared about any other State of Decay. It's a horror game, I guess, and I'm not into horror, so I'm just gonna skip over that. Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Right. First of all, the preliminary title for this was Dragon Age Dreadwolf. And I absolutely hate everything about this show, this particular show, this particular trailer. I hate everything. I hate the art style. I hate the combat. I hate the voiceover. I feel no connection to what it is that is going on. I really, oh God, I really hate this. It's like a weird mix of like I hate the art style. It's really the art style that's off-putting. It's like a weird blend of like cartoonish yet photorealistic in some way, but I feel like that should be a lot more compelling than it actually end up being. Like, I didn't like it. Let me just move forward. Starfield Shadow Space. Starfield is still a dog shit game, still garbage. But the point is that this looks like less garbage than the original offering. I think this simply looks mediocre to me. Like, they took it from garbage to mediocre, which is actually a substantial leap. Like, it's actually really good. Like a step to make, and then maybe you can take it from mediocre to slightly decent. But listen, it's Starfield. Okay, one thing I will give them props for. One of the things that never made sense in Starfield is that you have over 1,000 planets that are, miraculously great for humans. Like, you never have any like too high gravity or, so boy. It's not sci-fi. You know what I mean? Like, it's not actual sci-fi. It's fantasy in a technological setting. There are too many things that are happening, but one of the things that was really annoying is that there are no alien races, there's no alien species, there's really nothing. Like you have the what do they call them, those people, the star hoppers or the stargazers or the star lords, whatever they're called, and I guess they're like your most alien race. But there really should have been more. Like, come on, there should have been other civilizations, other aliens, and everything like that. This still doesn't give you that, but at least there's some kind of element of some other intelligence out there besides just humans. So I guess we could give them that. And then you have Fallout 76, Skyline Valley. Hey, listen, good timing. You know, the show came out, the show was phenomenal. 9 out of 10 easily. 8 to 9 out of 10 for the show. This will just make more of that kind of thing happen. I think the world of Fallout is so fascinating that it should really be given to a better studio than Bethesda. But hey, since it's here, they're doing the best that they can with it. So it is what it is. Again, great show for Fallout 76. I'm sure the people who have it are going to be happy with it. Expedition 33. Let's see. So this was the one of the best shows. So best showcases. I mean, look at this world. This world is, it's drop dead gorgeous. This idea that there's this painter, and every year there's a new expedition that tries to go out and literally stop her from painting death because, you know, oh man, it's just fascinating. Just that premise alone. This is what I mean by like mechanically dense games can have like really interesting stories we've never seen before. And over here the art style is grounded in the setting, in the lore, in a way that the previous was a Dragon Age Velgard wasn't grounded. This one, it looks like, yeah, it's got like this painterly artistic. It's got these proportions that are not quite, you know, photorealistic, but it's like, yeah, it's a painted world. Like it's okay to have all of these creative artistic interpretations of human proportions and bodies. Like these guys are like super skinny, but I guess if you only had like a year to live or whatever, or a generation to live, I guess you just wouldn't have time to get fat because this painter's gonna literally paint you guys out of existence after a while. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's a fascinating world, and you know, it's a turn by turn game. And by the way, can we just let's just take a moment to appreciate how wrong people are about turn by turn games. Like I hear so many otherwise like diverse gamers that keep saying I don't like turn by turn games, and I'm like, bro, do you understand the trade off? Yes, you are trading off the live element, right? The live combat element. But ask yourself, what do you gain in return? You gain strategy. You see, in live games, in games where you're just, you know, always in combat all the time, in action games, you don't have strategy. You have tactics. That's as smart as you can get because you can make tactics on the fly, or you can even have an overall tactic for an entire fight. But it's again, it's a short term thing that makes it a tactic. If you have a turn by turn game, that then you can have a strategy because you can plan out your moves way in advance. You can have it's something that you have as the driving strategy that will start from move one and go all the way to that move 99. That makes it a strategy. You gain that as a trade-off, and that's why turn-by-turn games are still compelling to this day. And this one has a wonderful mix between something that is turn-by-turn but also has some live elements. Kind of reminds me of Sea of Stars, where it's like an active turn-by-turn system, but this one just seems to like push it to the next level. So I think this game looks phenomenal graphically. I think the combat system looks super interesting. The world, the narrative, it's like a Souls game if a Souls game bothered to have a story. So I love it. And also I guess it was turn by turn. Best show or best show of the show, best showcase of the show, best trailer of the show. The best of the best is South by Midnight. South of Midnight. I keep calling it South by Midnight. Sorry, South of Midnight. Okay, over here you have a black female protagonist. You have a beautiful world. Listen, they have this stop motion kind of art style. I like it for the cutscenes. I'm not so sure about the gameplay though. Now, I haven't seen this trailer actually ever since I first saw it about a week ago. So we're going to take a look together as to whether or not you actually are going to get what is it? Whether you're actually going to get this stop like animation in combat as well, because I just think that it shouldn't be, you know. So Anyways, I'm not listening to anything. Yeah, she still has that kind of stop motion animation even when she's moving in gameplay, which it looks a little strange to me. I kind of wish that it wasn't there, but you know what? It's their artistic merit. It's what they wanted for the game, and the rest of the game looks so gorgeous that yeah, I'm not gonna complain about it. And of course, over here she has what is it? A grapple. We know we love grapple hooks now, grapple hooks and gliders. And this game just looks phenomenal. Like every part about it. It reminds me of Kenna. It reminds me a little bit of Breath of the Wild. Nah, not really. Nah, it's an action adventure game. It reminds me of other action adventure games. I don't think it reminds me of Breath of the Wild. The only thing that reminds me about Breath of the Wild is a glider. Because she has a glider. And as we know, every single game that has a glider is taken from Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild invented gliders, made gliders a thing. That's what it is. Every game that has any kind of glider is a ripoff of Breath of the Wild. So, there we go. It is what it is. But yeah, this game looks absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the games that I would have bought an Xbox for if I was guaranteed that it was going to be exclusive. But since most of those games, well, if not all of them are going to come to PlayStation 5, then I'm gonna get the trophies. I'm gonna play it on the DualSense. I'm gonna play it where I like to play best, and that's going to be on the PlayStation. But don't let that take anything away from this game for Xbox. Like, this game is for me a system seller, and they haven't had a game like that in far too long, and it's fantastic. I love every bit about this game. I love Hazel. I love the main character. I love her design. I love the world that she's inhabiting, and I will definitely be playing this game soon. It's a game that will be played. I don't need to play it right away. It's not anything like that. Like, it's not like I'm super like, oh my god, I can't wait. I'm gonna play it on day one. I'm gonna go play it on my PC because I guess I have access to a PC. But no, like, no, it's a game that is so good. It deserves to be on my big screen TV, which means we'll wait for it to get on the PlayStation. So yeah, then we have World of Warcraft. Don't care. I think I skipped it the first time, so I'm gonna skip it now. Metal Gear Solid, the Snake Eater. I never played the Metal Gear Solid game. Can you believe it? To this day, I still haven't played the Metal Gear Solid game. It is what it is. This could be a great one to start me with, because one of the things about the Metal Gear Solid games that makes it hard for me to get in is that I know, for example, Metal Gear Solid 5, I know that I'm getting like the tail end of it. And even if it is kind of a standalone experience, like I can understand it for itself by itself, I feel like that's not really the way that Kojima tells stories. Like, I feel like you really have to understand the character and really have been part of that world from the beginning. So this could be my entry point. This could be the moment that I come in. Now, a bit of conversation has happened about this, the way that it kind of looks more generic, like it doesn't have the same kind of like filter that the previous game had. It doesn't have the same look that it had. And I don't know, I feel like there is something to that. I feel like maybe they need to just kind of marry and blend the two art styles together a little bit better than they have here, because over here it's very clean, it's very cold, it's very photorealistic, and it misses a little bit of that old school charm. And I wonder how people feel about that, because as a remake, it has to kind of pay homage to what came before, but it also has to like adapt itself to modern standards. And a lot of those visual tricks, a lot of those heavy filters, those brown filters that we used to get, those were to mask technical limitations. So it's like, are you going to stay faithful to something that was really there more to mask a particular flaw that you had? Or are you just going to say, no, this is the new one. This is how it would have been made if they had the technology back then that we have now, and give a very clean, modern look? It's an interesting debate to have, but the game itself looks great. So it is what it is. Sea of Thieves Season 13. I mean, garbage game. I don't know why we've got it here, but hey, you know what? Some people like garbage. It's fine. Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn. This one is, she has an axe. I mean, that is like super God of War, right? But aside from that, the similarities end. She has a gun. It's cool. It looks great. It's one of those games that is obviously third party. It's the middle of the showcase. So to give it to, kind of give a little bit more support to the partners and everything else, that's fine. Great show. Like I think people that are interested in this game were definitely not put off by this trailer. In fact, I think it may have sold quite a few people. And again, black protagonist, black female, absolutely love it. So you know what? It is what it is. Cool art style, looks like good gameplay. I think this one will be a great 8 out of 10, maybe even 9 out of 10 game, for some people. But yeah, no complaints there. Shows good gameplay. Age of Mythology Retold. So over here, we have one of those civilization building games. Great for people that like it. Sure. I guess. Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark. The other highlight of the show. So Perfect Dark over here. I want to just kind of take a look at this trailer because, I mean, it looks really good. I think that this trailer still has a lot of like working action. I think there are certain cuts in certain moments. So for example, that cut over there, So for example, from here, and then we move to the middle there. Like that shows me that hey, maybe you guys haven't finished this area quite yet. Maybe some of the mechanics, like the walking and the interacting with the environment, maybe there's still some invisible walls, because again, we are getting cut into the same scene. You know what I mean? Like again, if you take a look just at that moment here, it's like this moment, this gate opens, and then we basically walk up this particular path, but then instead we are cut up it, like there you go. Like there's this light over here. Oops, I'm pointing at the screen. Can you imagine? Oh my god, I'm like like an old man. I'm pointing at the screen thinking you can see my hands. Okay. You see this light over here, right? So this is the frame, okay? And then you go back, and then that's that light right there. So why didn't we just show us walk through that particular path to get there? It's not even going to take anything longer than 5 seconds of walking in game. So the fact that it is cut makes me feel like this is still a work in progress, and that is absolutely fine. Like yes, there's still going to be some elements that are not going to be fully baked in, but when we take a look at it, I really like it. I really like what it is that they are showing. Clearly we have a lot of like spyware, a little bit of that division feel where we can hack into things and have a lot of gadgetry around us. So you know what, that's cool. They bring a lot of Mirror's Edge as well to the gameplay. There's a lot of scaling, a lot of parkour, a lot of first person running. I really truly wish that this was a third person game, because I just think that first person, I think the camera is limited, bro. I think the camera limits the amount of things that you can do and plan for. But you know what? Again, it is their artistic merit, because while I have preferences, I'm never going to tell the artist what to do with their art. Like it's your art at the end of the day. I will trust you to make the best decisions that you can make for it, because it's easy for me to say, hey, make it third person. But what do I know about the amount of work, the amount of trials, the amount of staff, the amount of technical engine things that have to go into making the camera third person instead of first person? Or maybe you want to make use of the biggest advantage of first person, which is the immersive factor. Maybe that's super important for you and the art that you're making. So you know what, it is what it is. At the end of the day, it looks like a phenomenal trailer. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I've never played a Perfect Dark game, so it will be fun to see and experience, this kind of game for myself. So, it is what it is. And yeah, really, really happy with this particular showing. I look forward to it. I think this will be the second system seller of the game. Like if I were to have bought an Xbox, it would have been South of Midnight, was it? Yeah, South of Midnight and Perfect Dark that would have sold it. So definitely fantastic showing. Now over here they do a little bit of the talkies, but then we have Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred. And I mean, this trailer is fantastic. So I haven't played Diablo 4, so really my type of game. Again, it's a little bit too heavy into the horror elements, but I did watch all of the story cutscenes and everything, because I think that the story itself is fascinating. So this continuation of the story looks fantastic. I guess I could play it. Maybe one day I will pick it up and play it myself. But yeah, this just looks really great. Fable. Fable is one that they did a lot of work on. So if you guys saw my last reaction video to the developer director, whenever it is at the last showed Fable, I'd said something. I said that all of the games that were shown there had the capacity to look a lot better the next time that we saw them. And this is absolutely 100% true for Fable. You know, the main protagonist looks a lot better. Um, a lot of the people in the world look a lot more defined. This clearly looks more like gameplay. I mean, she looks gorgeous, you know, the main protagonist. I don't know. I think people, I don't know, whenever it's a female protagonist, there's always like, for example, like this guy is that guy there, okay? Listen, I'm not gonna say he's ugly, but he's not classically handsome, right? But no one on the internet is gonna complain about the way that he looks. Just straight up, no one. Even if he was the main character, people wouldn't complain about the way that he looks. They'd just be like, "Yep, this is a guy. Whatever. I'm just gonna play the game." Like they could think he looks ugly, and they would just put up with it and play it. But as soon as it's a female protagonist, no, she needs to be like someone who will be on like I don't know, what are those like smutty magazines? You know, like the Sports Illustrated or something. You know, the ones where they have like soft porn, you know, kind of model shoots like. You know, she needs to be one of those types of models. Otherwise, people are like, ah, she's not beautiful enough. Ah, work this. Ah, DEI that. Ah, blah blah blah. Agenda. Like, bro, she's based off a real woman. Like, real women look like her too. And if we are going to have an industry that is going to be more inviting to people, and we do need that to be more inviting to people, they are going to have to look like real people. And guess what? Not every real person is going to be the most attractive to you, or the most classically beautiful to you, or the hottest, or whatever to you. By the way, the main character isn't ugly, not at all. She's great, but she's more like, I don't know, I guess her beauty is very kind of girl next door rather than like pin her up on the wall, kind of, you know, traditional. Whatever. I just think that people go way too far as to like, oh, whether she looks attractive or not. Bro, it's the same story as if she had been a guy. It's a character. You will inhabit her. You will play, and you will have the greatest time, or you have a bad time, or you have a mediocre time based on what the game delivers. And the aesthetic of the character itself should play a really minimal role in that. So yeah, anyways, the world itself looks great. I've never played a Fable before. I think this will be the third system seller for this particular. Yeah, like if I bought an Xbox, I will buy those three games. Like I will get South of Midnight, I will get Perfect Dark, and I will get Fable, you know. So again, looks phenomenal, and there's some elements of gameplay there, so at least we're not gonna complain about that. Very story focused. Some people call it British humor. I guess because it's like, I don't know, dry and deadpan humor, they call it British humor. I think it's just a type of humor. I'm not sure when the British got the credit for that, but you know, they probably colonized it from some other place in the world. That's what they do. But yeah, it's whatever. We're just gonna move forward. Then there's Fragpunk. I'm not even sure if I watched this the first time, guys. I think I just kind of, yep. Oh yeah, this is the one where they basically have Concord but with cards, where you can like change the rules of the world. Hey, you know what? It could be great. It could absolutely be great. We'll see. We'll see when it comes out. Right now, I don't fully understand it. I will have to see a match with it, because now I'm like, okay, does everybody have cards all the time? Isn't it going to be too chaotic if people just keep like spawning a card in front of you that suddenly makes the gravity upside down and you have to react and you spawn your own card and everything? Nah, we'll have to see exactly how this plays out. But hey, it's an interesting concept. It's a multiplayer game. They have to kind of have their own identity, and we can say straight away, mechanically, it looks more different, and it looks like it brings something that is different to the table way more than Concord ever did. So hey, at least they have that. We'll see. We'll see if they like it. Also, I will say this: even if Fragpunk doesn't succeed, yeah, the idea that you can change the rules of the game mid-game and in-game and everything like that in a multiplayer game, look, that's interesting. That is interesting. And even if that particular game doesn't do it, maybe the sequel does. Maybe another game takes the same concept and then makes the hit out after it. So it's an interesting idea. Good to have shown it. Then we have Winterborn. So this is an indie game session, and I will say this looks fun. This looks like a great indie game. I'm playing Dave the Diver at the moment, and I think indie games are such a nice palate cleanser. More people, instead of buying $30 skins in Valhalla, or in Assassin's Creed, or in Rainbow Six Siege or Valorant or whatever the hell, Why don't we just support the indie games, guys? Come on. Like you can have like a $20 Fortnite skin, or you can have an entire game. Support the indie games too. Yeah, here's the new rule. Yeah, for every premium skin that you buy, go buy an indie game as well. Just 1-for-1 ratio. Just there you go. You buy a Fortnite skin that's like 20, 25, $30. You go buy an indie game of the same equivalent value, basically. Just go and support the indies. It's great to show it there. Now over here, then we have mixtape. Again, this is like a Life is Strange kind of thing. Again, great, looks super fun. Again, fantastic platter cleanser. You know, I can imagine this on the PlayStation Portal. You know, maybe you're on vacation and you just want something to chill. It's a great game. It looks super interesting. So you know what? Good on them. Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't really care about Microsoft Flight Sim, but it kind of feels like the Gran Turismo of Microsoft, in that they keep just putting really great updates. And I think they are free. Yeah, maybe. I think they are. Maybe, or they are not expensive anyway to get. Like you're not gonna pay $100 for the expansion, right? You get one game and it just keeps getting better and adding extra modes and extra things and extra planes, and so yeah, absolutely looks phenomenal. Great. ESO Online. What is it? Oh, this is still doing the Microsoft Flight Simulator thing. They kind of messed up there. Oh yeah, the Elder Scrolls, right? Yeah, it's an MMORPG. Elder Scrolls, sure, Bethesda game, great for the people that care about it. Life is Strange Double Exposure. You know, this is a fantastic thing. Now we're back with Max, and she has a new friend that dies. This got is bad news. I guess she lost her time powers, but now she's got double exposure. I love it. You know, as a photographer myself, it's great. You know, I love that kind of play on things. It's fantastic. Looks great. I would love to see what happened to Max and how she grows up, and it'll be so interesting because I played the original Life is Strange so many years ago that it will be interesting to meet the character back again, kind of a later stage in her life as I'm in a later stage in mine. And you know, and she turned out looking well. You know, like she wasn't the most beautiful person, you know, when she was in her teenage years. But hey, she's looking phenomenal now. Like, listen, she got that glow up, you know. Fantastic for her. I'm happy. I love the game. If it was exclusive, this would be another system seller, but this is a multiplied, so it's cool. Indiana Jones. Yeah. Oof. Have I given Xbox enough praise? I feel like I've given Xbox enough praise because yeah, this one looks like discount Uncharted though. Ah, this one looks like yeah, those character models though. This would be a great PS3 looking game, bro. This will look great on the PS3. Like you know, like is it as bad as Rise of the Ronin? No. But is it PS4 generation? No, because Uncharted 4 was PS4 generation, and this is not Uncharted 4. Oh, what is it, your mama's first Uncharted or your baby's first Uncharted? I don't know. It looks better than before. It looks better than it did before. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you forget how janky it looks, but then you look at those characters and you're like, ah. And then you look at that gameplay and you're like, oof. And then you realize that Uncharted exists and you're like, damn. So, yeah. Listen, you know what? Good on them for trying something out that they haven't done before. So there's that. There's certain elements of humor here that are genuinely funny. So there's also that. Certain elements that are kind of few and far between in this particular trailer. But yeah, like looks like a decent 6 to 7 out of 10 experience, and that is an improvement from Starfield. So you know what? We'll take the wins wherever we find them. Okay. Then we have a Mecha Break. Blah blah blah. This is like mechs, I guess. Whatever. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. Did I even watch this the first time? Did I even pay attention to this? I think I just skipped this. Oh no, I think I watched this. Yeah, look, I feel like it's one of those trailers that's just a little bit too early on. It just doesn't show enough for me to make a particular opinion. So she's a demon. She hunts demons. We'll see what it is. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. Yeah, like yeah, this is just one of those games that yeah, it's great. It's fine. It's cool. I like it. Avowed. Oh, sorry. Disavowed. Disavowed is looking pathetic. Um, I, they can try to make this game look better every single time, and it doesn't. I'm sorry. This game doesn't. This game doesn't live up to that first original reveal, and that is the only image I have in my mind. So it is what it is. It's cool. But hey, look, they got gameplay. I can give them credit for that. It is looking better than what they showed last time, so they also get credit for that. Yeah, cool. Oh, and by the way, the sorry, I just want to say the what is it? The cover art for this game is freaking awesome, bro. Like, have you guys seen the cover art for this game? Jesus Christ, this cover art is just it goes hard. Look at that thing. Wow. That's the first word that comes to mind. Wow, it looks phenomenal. Okay, it's great. It's great. Love the look of this. This cover art goes so hard. They should get an extra 3 points. Like there will be a minimum 5 out of 10 because of the cover art alone. That thing is hard. What? It's so cool. So cool. Okay. Atomfall. I think this is like a Fallout wannabe, right? Like, hey, look at that Mary Queen town. Also, it's about to get blown up, and we have this very Fallout-esque technology mix, kind of like retro futuristic and things like that. And am I even saying the right thing? Yeah, like they have like, yeah, yeah, they have like robots and stuff. Cool. Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. Not really. It's kind of inconclusive on that one. Assassin's Creed Shadows look really great. Not really sure why it was here because it didn't really show enough of it. But I guess they have a partnership with Xbox. Sorry. Um, yeah, so it's cool. It's cool. By the way, there's some like controversy because there's a black samurai. Ugh, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta just not engage in stupidity. If you roll around with the pigs, all you're gonna do is just get muddy. So it is what it is. Racist people being racist, pretending they're not racist. They're just racist. So Stalker 2. Now over here again, this is one of those games that it looks great, but it's just not my thing. And I hope that it turns out to be even better than it looks now. So, I hope that the people that are going to play it really enjoy it. So, yeah, but aside from that, gameplay wise, it looks good. The presentation wise, looks good. We'll see exactly how it turns out later on. Yeah, we will. Then we have a digital Series X. I'm not that interested in this. I think looking at the prices later, I'm not really sure if it makes sense. I'm a physical I like physical discs, right? So like I guess for people that only care about the digital side, it's cool. But then I didn't really understand. My thing is this, yeah. If you're going to make the digital one, and then you have I feel like the lineup gets a little bit confusing as to which one is really the one for you. Like, okay, so you have a digital Series X. That makes sense. But then you have the Series S's that are also all digital. And I guess, okay, so now you have three particular. Let's just look at the Series X. Now you have three SKUs. You've got the digital Series X, you've got the physical Series X, and then you've got the 2 TB Series X. I feel like one of those things should be removed. And I feel like it should be the 2 TB Series X. Or maybe if you wanted a 2 TB SKU, you should have made that the digital one. And then kept it the same price, right? Because by now the silicon should have been cheaper. But then just made that one 2 TB to begin with. It doesn't really matter. People are going to make their estimations about it. It's a so-so announcement. Okay, let's just go back to the games. Gears E-Day, right? Yeah, E-Day. This trailer looked absolutely phenomenal. I hear from the internet that the song that it uses is a remix of the original, so they get the nostalgia vibes from that. I didn't play any Gears of War. I wasn't paying attention to Gears of War back then. I kind of know a little bit of what happens in the story, but I would love to be able to meet this story where it is. Now, this is a cinematic, so it tells you nothing about the game, but that's fine for an announcement. The original hype announcement. It is what it is, and it looks good. It looks good. If it showed more of the actual game, I would say that it would be the fourth system seller in this show because it will give me a way to get it. And by the way, this is why we make remakes. I know this is not a remake, but this is why we make remakes because it can give a person that missed out on the original trilogy a chance to get into the game. So, you make a remake, or perhaps like this, you make a prequel to the story where it's like, hey, you missed out on all of those games, right? Now, here is this prequel. And then what do you think should happen? What do you guys think should happen after a person like myself finishes this prequel, right? Gears Ide. Well, I should want to go on to Gears 1, 2, and 3, right? At the very least. But guess what? That's a step back in technology. Now that I have started on Gears Ide, the reason you need a remake is that I want Gears 1, 2, and 3 to now have the same thematic and physical and presentation style and gameplay style as Gears Ide does. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go back in time just to continue the story that's already been told. That's why remakes are so important, because it lets people get into the game that may have missed it the first time around. So all of this gatekeeping around remakes, I just think is so... It's disingenuous, and it's so short-sighted, because you should let other people get a chance to love the thing that you love as well. That's how you get more of the thing that you love, more of the style of thing that you love. So remakes and remasters are great for the gaming industry, and and I will always advocate for them. Now let's give this show its final score. 10 out of 10. Absolutely. There were 3 to 4 system seller games there. Games I would have bought an Xbox for if I was guaranteed that those games would be exclusive. But one thing that I said on Twitter is I'm not going to believe in your product more than you. If Microsoft doesn't believe in a series consoles and their capacity to stand with their own games and their own exclusive library, then I'm not going to believe in that more than they are. Like, they are what, a $3 trillion company? Boy, $500 is a big difference to me. So I'm not going to go and spend that money for something that you guys don't believe in. So if you're going to bring it over to me on PlayStation, that's where I'm going to play those games. But they will be played eventually. Another thing that people now try to say is that people on PlayStation are going to pay $70 for games that they get for free, quote unquote, or as part of the Game Pass subscription. Here's the thing. When I say I'm going to play these games, nobody says they have to be day one. You guys know this, right? I've told you guys on this channel before. This year, I'm not buying any new games. Stellar Blade, what is it? Grand Blue Fantasy. Not that I was gonna buy that one anyway, most likely. But things like Stellar Blade, I haven't bought Stellar Blade. What is it? Not Dragon Age. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I haven't bought it. Every game that I played this year are games that were either part of my backlog already, or games that are coming through the PlayStation Plus catalog, because I've already paid for that up until 2025. So those are the games that I'm playing because I want to catch up with my backlog, and I don't want to always get in this habit of paying for games and then just letting them sit for 9 months. Like, I received Red Dead Redemption 2 at launch. I still haven't played it. It's been years later, So I just want to get out of that phase where I pay for games and then, they just either they go to the front of the line and I play them right away, but that means that there's a game that I paid before that doesn't get played. So I have a few rules. So this year, no new games, right? Next, next few rules are going to be simple. If I pay for a game, no matter what, it needs to be a game that I'm going to play in the next 2 weeks. Or it needs to be on like a really deep discount, right? Like if a game is like, I don't know, let's say I wanted to play Cuphead, and for some reason Cuphead was like $10 on sale. Okay, sure, I might buy that. But generally speaking, especially if I'm paying full price, I want to be playing that within the next 2 weeks. I want to be that should be my next game. I wanted to jump to the front of the queue. So again, is there a point to be made that one person can play it on a subscription while another person can play it, kind of like they have to pay for the access? Sure, but as a person that pays for the access to that game, I'll tell you that me personally, because I don't need to play a game as soon as it is available, because I'm behind, guys. Like, I still haven't played Baldur's Gate 3. I have it. I haven't played it. Um, I can just take my time. It's not as big a draw card as you think. And you know what? If I really really want to play the game, I don't mind paying full price for it. I really really don't. But what I'm just trying to say is that I have the option of paying whatever price I believe the game is worth to me. Like, that's the beautiful thing about games. It's very democratized in terms of what you think you should be able to pay for a game. Because unless you are talking about Nintendo, who hardly ever do sales, every other platform you can get sales on. Like, if you feel like Cyberpunk 2077 isn't worth $100, and you wait a few months, a few years, boy, you could get it probably for 10. You know what I mean? So it is a consideration to be had. But going back to the showcase very quickly, it's a 10 out of 10 showcase. Yeah, some things they could have done better. Number one, please capture this on the series consoles, and state that in your display. Like, state very clearly whether it was captured on Series X or not. Or if it's captured on PC, state that also. So just be very, very clear and upfront. And I feel like Microsoft needs to believe in the consoles a little bit more. You came out 4 years ago and you were saying that this is the world's most powerful console, and yet you never really show games running on it. Like, you hardly ever have a showcase where the Series X is the hardware that is the most prominently shown in that particular showcase. So I think they should definitely capture on console, and then people on PC will understand that they can push higher than that. If you've got a top of the line PC, as most people don't, but if you do have a top of the line PC, then whatever you see captured on the Series X, you know that you're going to get better from there. So it really doesn't hurt anything. I think that the Series consoles, or the Series X specifically, should be seen as the bastion of the Microsoft ecosystem. And then basically people on PC, they know that they can get better. But when you show something on an ultra high end PC, then only, like, what is it, 5 maybe 10% of your user base in your ecosystem can get that level of performance, and then everybody else will get some kind of diminished experience from there. So I feel like, yeah, no, you shouldn't do that during your showcase. But hey, that's just my thought. Another one that they could have done better is oh god, what was it? It was just one more thing that I thought about. So it was disclosure number one to use the series consoles, and there was another thing that I thought, they should have done, but it was very small and it wasn't. Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter. If I think about this thought in the shower, I'm not going to like hit myself. It's not that big a deal. But the point is, this was a fantabulous showcase. Really, really great. Oh, dates. That's what it was. More dates, more expectations as to when these games are coming. Because I had a very strong Game Pass push, but when are the dates for these games? When are they going to come? Those should have been a little bit more prominent. And I think there should have been kind of like a final splash screen that tells you everything with the expected date, whether that's a year, a season, a specific day. That was the last thing that they could have done better. But still, 10 out of 10 doesn't mean perfect, guys. Again, this is a scale created by humans for humans to rank human products. So since no part of that can ever be perfect, I always like shake my head at people that are like, oh, I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 because no person can create something perfect. Of course, no person can create something perfect. Like, you're stupid if you have a perfect score that actually means perfection to judge imperfect stuff. Like, that you're dumb. Like, why do you create that? Like, that's stupid. That's an unattainable goal. So why is it part of the scale? It's stupid. Okay. 10 out of 10 doesn't mean perfect. 10 out of 10 doesn't mean that you can't see any way that it could be better. 10 out of 10 simply means that it is as excellent as you could possibly expect it to be, fully meets that standard, and pushes a little bit beyond it. For me, that's what 10 out of 10 is. It doesn't mean that if you really put 100 smart scientists together, they couldn't think of one single way that it could be better. Of course, it can always be better. But hey, again, 10 out of 10 showcase, absolutely cool. Now, one of the fallout from this, okay, one of the things is that I said on Twitter that if this had been an exclusive, kind of this, if these games had been exclusive, especially the ones from Xbox first party, I would have bought an Xbox. And again, I stand by that. And some people give pushback on that, and I'm like, no, guys, this is it. This kind of show. Like, imagine, guys, if this had been the 2020 showcase. Imagine if Xbox had come out showing us this at the onset of the console release. I think that they would have done a tremendous job, and I think that they would have been thoroughly rewarded by the people for doing this. I think that this generation of consoles, especially if those games had come out, pretty soon after, would have been a lot closer. This one kind of 3-1 kind of thing wouldn't have been happening. I know I would have bought an Xbox if this had been a 2020 showcase, and I would have bought it that year. So again, this for so many years we have said Xbox has no games, and we meant games like these, undeniable games, must play games, experiences that actually move the needle. And this was a showcase where, for myself personally, there were 4, and that's me dismissing a lot of other games. Things like Doom that I dismiss, things like what is it, the Vessel of Hatred, Diablo 4 that I personally dismiss, things like Call of Duty that I dismiss. Imagine if all of those games, State of Decay 3, if you're an Xbox fan, Starfield, some people really love Starfield. You have like 7, 8, 9 must-play games in one show. That's a 10 out of 10. Like, come on, guys. Like, what are we gonna do? Do you say Xbox has no games? When they present you games, give them their flowers, man. Respect the craft. And you know what? Yes, there's conversations to be had about, oh, Microsoft bought all of these, they bought all of that. Yes, so what? So what? They bought it. So what? It's their superpower. They have money. And finally, we are seeing what that money can do. I hope that they have a tremendous success with all of these games, even the ones that I don't personally care for, because again, I just wanted this to happen. And you know what? I will advocate for these games to remain exclusive to the Xbox. Even don't even put them on PC right away. Give them exclusive to the Xbox and watch the sales grow. Watch your fan base grow on console. Watch people that are traditional PlayStation players buy into your ecosystem in order to play it. But you know what? I think it's too little too late for that. It is what it is. I accept it. But this is truly a phenomenal showcase, and I'm really happy to have been a part of that moment. Okay, switching gears a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about I think I already talked about Astrobot last week or whenever I did the last thing. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about Lego Horizon, because I put out a tweet on Twitter, right, that basically said that I was thinking, what is it? Let's put it on screen. Blah blah blah. Let's zoom in because I know that it looks really small on YouTube. So I said shout out to Persona from Wops. For advocating the PlayStation 4 receiving Lego Horizon. We all know what PlayStation is trying to do, okay? A lot of people keep going, oh, Emmanuel, the PlayStation, they're trying to move it with PS5. I know what they're trying to do. In fact, I agree with the strategy for the most part, okay? I do. I am aware of it, okay? But it doesn't mean that it's right to forsake your own player base whilst courting another platform. It just doesn't mean that, okay? And I said this while you listen to What's Up PlayStation, okay, Crossfire, 60FNL, PlayStation gamers, right or wrong, will tell you the grievance with our platform. Now, I have a lot of comments here, and a lot of them are basically saying this: cross-gen is horrible, get rid of cross-gen games, okay? Guys, let's have a come to Jesus moment here. Just look me in the eye, yeah? Lego Horizon is a cross-gen game. It's on the Switch. It's cross-generation. Do you think that the Switch is part of this generation? Are you stupid? Are you dumb? Are you crazy? It is a cross-gen game. But they might as well put it on a TI-84 calculator. That's how weak the Switch is. It's a cross-gen game. What are you talking about? It is, just because it's not put on the platform doesn't mean it's not a question game. That's why when I what is it? I talked about Indiana Jones before, and I said that's a nice looking PS3 game. Just because it's not on the PS3 doesn't mean it. Boy, come on, man. What does Lego Horizon do that couldn't have been done on PS4? Just because you didn't put it there doesn't mean that it's a next gen game. Like that's dumb. Like it's not a next gen game because of omission. Not when it is on the Switch. Well, you think they pushed the PlayStation 5 version? No, bro. This game has been mechanically identical on the PlayStation as on the Switch. All they're going to do, for the most part, is take the hit on the loading times, fair enough, and then they're going to take the hit on the resolution and the frame rate, fair enough. Some models not gonna look the same, fair enough. The presentation will suffer on the Switch, but everything else you're going to be able to do the same exact way. You know, you're boy. If you ride a what is it, a rhinoceros, a horse, let's just call them a horse. If you ride a machine, okay, and you're galloping on the PlayStation version, you're going to be galloping at the exact same speed as the Switch version, even though we all know that the SSD of the PlayStation could technically allow you to swim the world faster and therefore have faster vehicle travel. It's not going to happen though, because it is anchored down by the Switch. It is a cross-gen game. Oh God, intelligence, guys, intelligence. Just think about what you're saying. The Switch isn't part of this generation. No one counts the Switch as part of this generation. Does anyone count the Switch as part of this generation? If they do, they're wrong, okay? I know that Nintendo is kind of weird because they kind of release products like towards the mid-gen of like the other two consoles, but there's no way anyone is counting the Switch, the original Switch, as part of this generation, right? Please tell me there's no way. Okay. Even, by the way, if it is counted as part of this generation, it's wrong. Okay, it's wrong. Just technologically speak, it is wrong. This is a cross-gen game. It not appearing on the PlayStation 4 doesn't mean it's not a cross-gen game. There is no PlayStation 5 feature being pushed to its limits in order to qualify it. You know, it's not Rift Apart. Like, again, Rift Apart, next-gen game. You play it on PC, you put an HDD in there, and you see the game break up in front of you. That's exactly what it is. It couldn't have run on the PlayStation 4. It wouldn't have given you that experience. But this one, it's a Switch game that is... It's easier. Actually, it's easier to think about it that way. It's easier to think about it as a Switch game ported to PS5 than you should think about it as a PS5 game ported down to Switch. It's easier to think about it the other way around. Because, again, every single game that is designed has a minimum spec in mind. And if the minimum spec is the Switch, it's a cross-gen game. So, let's just put that away. And then I think that was it. I think that's the last thing I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna stop now. Okay, I'm going to end one video before the 1 hour mark. That's what we're going to do. But I just had to get off my chest because guys, PlayStation gamers, man. Oh man, it's just that you guys are so afraid of losing. That you act like losers, man. You act like you just say stupid things. Oh man, listen. Man, it's cool. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, thank you for being here. Another random rambly stream of thoughts, but I had to get them out. So, you know what? If you're in for it, I guess you're in for it. It's cool. I like having you guys here. Leave a chat in a comment and everything. It's cool, you know, or follow me on Twitter. Don't even follow me. Just go to my Twitter profile, find whatever thing I've said, and then find a way to either be super intelligent about it or be a Twitter person about it instead. You know, it is what it is. So y'all have a good day, and I will see you, or you will see me next time. You know, it is what it is.